Now, a pair of studies raising some concern about concussions and young athletes, with researchers finding that while 170,000 kids roughly go to their emergency room for concussions every year, millions of cases are treated outside the hospital, and some 70 to 90% in sports are missed completely. Joining us now, Dr. Ernest Patti, a senior attending physician of emergency medicine at St. Barnabas Hospital in the Bronx here in New York City. So,
thanks for having me, Jen.
Of course, you see a lot of concussions come into your ER?
We do get a lot of concussions. A lot of children are actively playing soccer, football, hockey, basketball, and these children, as well as adults, frequently bang their heads.
What are a telltale sign that someone has a concussion?
Well, the hard thing to remember is, the brain's a real elastic organ, and it's very malleable, and it can recover quickly. But the problem is many people aren't quick to realize the signs and symptoms of concussions. The children can sometimes complain of a headache. They don't always lose consciousness. Many concussions, you just get a bang or a ding to the head. You don't necessarily have to have that severe blow. But the trauma to the soft brain inside the skull itself from the movement back and forth can be long-standing.
So some parents might hear this and say, my kid had a concussion. I thought they had a concussion even during last season. The coach said, sit out a game.
Exactly.
What we're learning in some of these studies, including one published in Pediatrics, is that doctors really aren't quite so sure about how long it takes to actually recover from a concussion.
That's true. The studies that you referred to are very interesting, because initially they thought, you could recover in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Now they're looking at a month and even longer than that, up to 12 weeks. That's from a child or an adult who's had repeated blows to the head.
But parents are going to listen and say, that means the whole season. My kid is never going to let me do that. Look at him or her and say, you're going to sit out for the rest of the season because you have a concussion. So what's the right call?
Well, the right call is, first, we need more eyes and ears at each game. One of the studies also mentioned that, there were more concussions picked up at the game time, not during practices. Now, that's because who's at practice? Many times just the coaches, maybe not even a trainer, no parents or nobody in the stands. So at the games, these were picked up quicker. So the right call is you have to look at all of the repeated blows to the children's heads and make sure that they're not exhibiting any of these symptoms.
So what would you advise parents if they came into your ER and said, Doc, I think he has a concussion? What would you say as far as recovery?
I'd always err on the side of being conservative, and definitely what I would say is make sure you're using proper safety equipment first. I have an example of a bicycle helmet here, and and obviously a hard hat for those who work in construction, like I used to do.
That matters too,
but,
right?
Oh, it definitely does. But what you want to do is use the proper safety equipment, and then you also want to make sure that if the child receives a blow to the head, you definitely have to have them evaluated. Even if they say, I'm fine, I want to go back in the game. If it's a solid blow and they fall to the ground and they look a little dazed or confused, fatigue, headache, trouble with bright lights or loud sounds, unsteadiness on their feet or clumsiness, or obviously if they've blacked out, you have to have them evaluated by a professional, and then you're going to definitely need a period of rest, both of the body and of the brain.
Dr. Patti, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Great advice, especially as we're heading into the summer sports season. Appreciate it very much as always.
Thanks.
And we'll be right back with more happening now.